Hi, everybody. I don't know that I'm ready, but I am here. I just ran in. Um, Hi, thanks for joining me. If this is the first time joining me, I am Michelle Solis from This Must Be Ink, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Seekonk, Massachusetts. So welcome to my Stamp and Sip on Friday night. This is where the weekend starts early. So we're going to do a lot of card making this weekend. I've got some people coming to the barn on Saturday to make some more cards for our Hasbro fundraiser. But I wanted to take the time to show you this really cute, I'm calling it an expanded gatefold card. I don't know what it's really called. I think it originally came from Robin Armbrecht. Julie, one of the ladies that stamps with me, sent me this beautiful birthday card, and it was this little design. So I was like, oh, I think we should case that, and I'll do it for Stamp&sip. So this is the card that we're going to be doing tonight. I will turn the camera down so that you can see it a little bit better, and then I'll show you how to make it. All right, so just take a sip of whatever you brought. Just drinking water tonight. And we'll get started. All right, let me turn this light on and flip this around. All right. Here we go. All right, let's get lined up here. All right, I think that's pretty good. I don't know, it looks weird to me. There we go. Maybe I was a little tilted. Someday I'm going to have like a studio. You think? Oh, that's a great goal. All right, here we go. Okay, so here is the one that Julie sent me. So cute. I don't remember what this paper was called, but it was one of my favorite packs of paper with all these beautiful bright summer colors. And so it opens like this, and then you've got this piece inside that opens like this. So that's really simple and cute, and I just think it's a really nice way. Again, you're showing off both sides of your paper. So I think it's a really cute way to use some designer series paper. All right, so this is the one that I did as a sample. I did this with the, I think it's Turtley Cute paper. I didn't buy the stamp set that coordinates with this. I just really loved the paper, and I just want to cut that little guy right out of the paper. He's so cute. So this one is, again, a birthday card, and I'm using two sides of that turtley paper. It says, "Here's to you" inside, and he's blowing a horn. And then on the inside, it says, "Celebrate," and here's a little guy with a banjo. I think that came out really cute with all those little characters. I haven't made one with my Winnie the Pooh yet. I might have to do that. All right, so there's that one. So I'm going to show you how to make this. And it's very, very easy. But let me turn off this heater before I die. Okay. All right, so what we're going to need tonight is we're going to need a piece of cardstock for your card piece. Tonight I'm using Pool Party. Oh, and I wanted to tell you that turtle paper. So that turtle paper is on the last chance list right now, and you can get a pack of that for $7.50, I think. I don't know, I think I might have to get another pack. I didn't like this paper when it first came out, and this guy just really grew on me. He's very cute. Okay, so a piece of cardstock for your card base that is 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. So it's a little different. Okay, 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. Then you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. Tonight I'm using a piece from Beach Boardwalk. And this is going to be 4 by 8. Okay? So you do want to find one that's got a coordinating that the other side coordinates with it, so it doesn't look too off when you make your card. Then you're going to need 4 little strips that are going to coordinate. So they're going to be 1 1/4 by 4, and you're going to need 4 strips. I'm using there we go, the little suns and the water. Okay, then you're going to need a piece for your sentiment inside, and this is going to be a square that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then you just need whatever you're going to use for the front to decorate your front and make your little sentiment piece. So tonight I'm using 2 circles. This one is from the Stylish Shapes dies, and then this is from my 2 3/8 inch punch. And then I've just got another one that's going to go on the second layer with the punch as well. Okay, so that's what we need. So let's score now. So you're going to score your 4 1/4 by 9 1/2 inch card base at 1 1/2. Let's get that cutter out of the way. So you've got your 2 blades on there. Make sure you don't cut. 1 1/2, and then you're going to go to 2 inches. Then you're going to flip it around, and you're going to do the same thing on the other end. So 1 1/2, and then 2 inches. Okay, that's all you need to do for your card base. Super simple. Now for your designer series paper, hi Cheryl. For your designer series paper, the 4 by 8, you're going to score that right in half at 4 inches. So we're going to put that in at 4 inches and score. Just be careful not to score too hard on designer series paper so you don't rip it. And then you're going to just fold that in half. That's going to be that little flap that you've got in the middle. And that's all you need to do. All right, so now let's just make the card and glue it together. So you've got your 2 score lines on either side. At the inside score line, you're going to mount and fold in. And then at the next score line, you're going to fold out. Okay, let's just do the same thing on the other side. The interior, the one the closest to the middle, you're going to mount and fold in. And then at the next fold line, you'll be valley fold out. Okay, and that's it. You're going to then use some glue. I've got 3 glues going on my desk here, and I don't know which one is working. Okay, so this is kind of like making a book fold. On this little flap that you've made, or this little panel that you've made here, we're going to get some glue. I say that like it's just a thing that's going to happen. If you know me, I love liquid glue, but it just sometimes doesn't want to work for me. It doesn't want to come out. All right, and then you're going to fold that over and just hold that a second while it dries. So that's going to create this little flap here. Okay, that's going to be flat there, and then you're going to have your little gatefold. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. That little middle panel that you made, you're going to get some glue on there. It's taking its time coming out here. All right. And then hold that down for a second while it sticks. And then you'll have your card base. That's really all there is to it, just to create those little flaps. Okay, and then we're going to attach our designer series paper. So your little, hi Kathy. So your little piece that you created by folding this in half, that's going to go right in here in the middle. I always put this piece in first so that I can line up my side panels to it. So it'll look even. All right, so we're going to get some glue, maybe a different glue tonight. Here, let's try this one. Let's see, watch this one just come spurting out. Yep, there we go. So we're going to just get glue on there. And then we're going to just center that in the middle here. So just try to get an even distance at top and bottom and side to side. Okay, so that's your card base. Then you're going to add your side panels. So on the front, I think I'm going to just continue the same pattern for this one. So I'm going to get some glue on these. Oh, that was too much glue. Let's spread that around a little bit. It's feast or famine with the glue. All right, so then when you go to center this on your panels, you want this bottom, the bottom of this piece to be even with that piece so that it looks continuous all the way across your card base and it looks like it lines up and it's not wonky. All right, and then we'll just do the same with this side. Just make sure it's lining up with the bottom there and the top. Okay, so now you've got your card base. And then you can add some more designer series paper inside. You don't have to, but I thought it would be cute to add some more designer series paper inside. So I'm using the other side, which has got this little sun pattern. That would be cute. And again, just line that up with this piece here. And then on the other side. Okay, so then you've got your card made, and all you have to do then is create some sentiment and focal point for the front and sentiment for the inside, and you'll be all done. So this is where your 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 is going to go, but I'm going to stamp on that before I put it in. And I'm using tonight the Rolling Waves. This was a March online exclusive. This is the Rolling Waves set, and we're going to do Happy Birthday and Hoping Your Day is Perfect. So I'm going to stamp that in Summer Splash, even though I used some, this is Pool Party paper. I'm going to use Summer Splash, which is a little bit darker. For the inside here. Okay. And then while I'm stamping, let's stamp the Happy Birthday on the front circle. So we'll do Happy Birthday. And this is why I used a little bit darker color so that it would show up nicely on that blue, on that Pool Party circle. Okay. So then we can get our insert in here. And that should be cut so that you have a perfect border all the way around. Okay. And then this one is going to go on the front. So I've got my oh my gosh, well, right out of my brain. Stylish Shapes circle with the little bit of detail around the outside. I'm going to add this punched circle to the middle of that for my front focal piece. Okay. And the only tip I have for you for adding this is, obviously, you don't want to just glue it down. You're only going to add glue to whichever side you want, depending on how you want it to open. So let me see. These opened this way from the right. So I think that's what I'm going to do here as well. So in order to line that up, what I'm going to do is flip it over, line it up, and then I can see where I want to put my glue. So I only want it to be in this area up here. Okay. I'll get some glue there. And then very carefully flip it over and add it to my card. Oh, I did pretty well. Look at that. No glue gooping out there. Okay, and then you can just decorate. So the inside one, if you want to do one on this panel, what you're going to do is just center that up, and that should be hidden by your front piece. Okay, I don't think I'm going to stamp on, am I going to stamp on this? No, I'm not going to stamp on this. I'm going to just put this in there. I'm going to put some little seashells on here. So I'm going to then just center this up before I glue it down too hard. I'm going to make sure it gets covered by my circle. Then I can adhere it. Okay, perfect. All right, so I just made some little seashells and sea stars with the die that goes with the rolling waves. There's this die that cuts out all these beautiful little seashells and sea stars, just the right size to put on the front of your card. So I just took a piece of that watercolor looking paper, like this, but it was the pink one. It had more pink. And I just cut those out of a piece of designer series paper so I could get that kind of watercolor look. So I'm just going to take my little, I'm going to use my tweezers tonight. See if I can get these on there. I think I'm better, honestly, with my fingers than I am with the tweezers. We'll see how it goes. So these are what they call reverse tweezers. When you push them, they open. And let go of whatever they're holding. And I believe that these are available with the Embossing Buddy set. All right, so I'm going to put this little guy. So it holds it really nicely while you're trying to put glue on. My problem is I'm just not really coordinated when it comes to letting go of it. I really have to think about it because it's reverse psychology there. When you like let go, you push it to let go. All right, so I've got a little sea star. I'm going to put a dimensional on there, and let that one pop up a little bit. Oh, maybe over here. And then what else have we got? Oh, we've got a, let's do another little sea star. These dimensionals are just big enough or just small enough to go on there. Let's put it in the middle where I was thinking about it. There. So happy birthday. Oh, look at that. Yep, let's put him up there. And let's get another dimensional for that. I think I can do that with my fingers. Cute. All right, and then inside I'm going to put some other little guys. I might have to cut a few more. We'll see. And on the inside, you don't want to use dimensionals. You want it to be nice and flat. I forget to push it when I am trying to let go. And it's a whole coordination with these tweezers. I am not that coordinated. All right. Oh, stuck to my finger. There we go. Okay, so here's my little card. We just need some bling. I've got some Pearls of Beauty. It's got the white, so I'm going to use the white ones here. They're so shiny. I love them. We used to have some sea glass shapes that were so pretty. I don't know if I have any of those left in my stash. That would be pretty with this as well. Okay, so there we go. Happy birthday. Maybe I'll add some more shells on there. And then hoping your day is perfect. Super cute. All right, so here's the one from tonight. Here's the one that Julie sent me for my birthday that started the whole thing. I had to figure out how to make it. And then here is the one I showed you as a sample with the turtley cute. Hi, Julie. Thanks for the birthday card and the inspiration. Here's the turtles. All right, so I did make a couple more. I got all carried away. All right, so I made one with like every paper I have. So here is the homemade sweetness, I think. Homemade sweetness paper. So I used the little check pattern for the front and I just fussy cut some little jars there and a fussy cut a spoon. And this one, I used my Stylish Shapes dies. I used the square and I turned it to be a diamond for the front. And then I've got another little diamond inside. You're the best. And nothing in the middle. That's where you're going to write your sentiment. Okay. And then I've got this one with the Brushed with Beauty paper. So I used the Spotlight on Nature dies for the front here and layered those up. And these are the Brushed with Beauty die cut flowers. And then I put another flower on the middle. So that one I think came out really pretty. And then the last one, I grabbed some retired paper. Now this is the pear paper that is now retired, but you guys might have some of this in your stash. And this is just a hello card. Why is the camera shaking? I don't know. There you go. And on this one, I used the textured notes dies and did a rectangle across the front. And then another little rectangle inside of that one. All right, so there you go. Julie started a whole thing. I had to figure out that card. And then I just made it with everything that I've got. Okay, that's it for me. Let's turn this around. There we go. No, doesn't want to go. There it goes. All right, let's get this out of the way. We got to turn the light off. Okay. I know, my lighting. Someday I'm going to have a studio. All right, so that's it for me tonight. I don't know. I'm in the dark now. I'm sorry. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Julie, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, to make some cards for Hasbro. And everybody have a good weekend. Hopefully it's going to be nice this weekend. They've been promising sunshine, so yay. And any moment now, I think the astronauts are splashing down. So if you're not keeping up with that, you should run to the TV and go watch the astronauts splash down. History in the making. All right, everybody have a good weekend and stay crafty, my friends.